As well as taking the opportunity this week at our conference to reflect on this incredible project now drawing to a close, we also want to take the opportunity to share some progress with ongoing work within the centre funded through UNICEF with our partners in Brazil, and of course to look ahead to the future of Ni3. Our work is far from over as we continue in our mission to end the sadly persistent global problem of gender-based violence. Now, I'm very pleased at this point to be able to share with you another short video, this time an introduction recorded for us by the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Huddersfield, Professor Bob Cryan. So again, please bear with me.
A very warm welcome to the Ni3 Centre's Huddersfield University is very proud to be the home of this innovative and truly global research centre, which is working across 8 countries and 3 continents to date. Gender-based violence is a pervasive global problem, exacerbated recently by the pandemic, and we must collectively do more both to prevent it and to offer better support to those who are victimised. Ni3 is a fantastic example of the way in which experts and practitioners working across different disciplines and international borders can collaborate effectively to find novel solutions to this persistent issue. The Centre has focused on young people as the change makers and use digital technology in the form of serious computer games combined with pedagogically informed learning resources to influence their behaviours while attitudes are still being formed. This has proved effective in increasing victim empathy and reducing the endorsement of attitudes that promote gender discrimination and fuel gender-based violence. Having established Ni3 as a university research centre, I'm excited to see its global leadership in the field of gender-based violence prevention and seeing it continue to grow as the centre develops and tests more such educational games. I'd like to express my congratulations to the centre team on completion of the prestigious GCRF project, now drawing to a close, and I look forward to seeing the centre's work continue to develop over coming months and years, including through the ongoing UNICEF End Violence project in Brazil. I hope that you enjoy the conference, and I wish you every success in tackling this important global issue. Thank you.
So many thanks to Bob for that excellent endorsement as we begin our conference. So in this first conference session today, we'll be taking the opportunity to reflect on both the expected and the unexpected journeys that we've been on together over the past 4 years. And I will share with you an agenda for the session today. So here is an outline of what today looks like. So after a little bit more background from me, we will move on to welcome our keynote speaker, Adele Jones, and then we'll hold our final executive group meeting of this project, which we are making an open meeting, and we'll be focusing on the country director's reflections on delivering this 4-year transdisciplinary international research project. We'll then be taking a short break up till 2 p.m. UK time, and then we'll return to hear short presentations from our 4 GCRF study countries about some of the unexpected developments that have emerged out of the project. So these were things that were not necessarily included in the original plan, but which presented themselves as great opportunities to further develop our work and its impact. And there will be opportunity for questions for all our speakers at the end of that session, so please do continue to share any questions or comments you may have in the chat, and we'll do our best to get to them. We'll then aim to close today's session at 3:30 UK time. So, by way of background, the GCRF, Global Challenges Research Fund Ni3 project started in late 2017, just as the previous EU-funded Caribbean project was drawing to a close. We welcomed new international partners from Jamaica, Uganda and India, and established a new research team here in the UK. And it may surprise some of you to learn that Pakistan and China were also on our original list of partner countries. And I think it's a sign of one of the unexpected turns that a project like this can take, that not all partnerships prove sustainable, unfortunately, although I am pleased to say that partings were all on good terms in this case. So we set out to deliver a holistic research project across disciplines, drawing on both qualitative and quantitative research to inform the design of games, of curricular outputs, and of policy and practice recommendations. And all of this is underpinned by both operational management and ongoing dissemination and engagement activities. Each activity is its own work package, with work package leaders working collaboratively with country directors on an equitable basis, all with co-investigator status. And all of that hopefully is summarised quite nicely in our systems model diagram that you can see here. As the project was established, the country research teams identified their research focus for their country, and that was the theme also that they wanted the pro-social video game for young people in their country to tackle. So for Jamaica, that has been child sexual abuse in the family. For Uganda, we've looked at sexual coercion in the context of child marriage. In India, it's been gender bias and violence against women. And in the UK, we've looked at intimate partner violence in young people's relationships. Now, while much of the project has progressed as planned, we have also faced, of course, many unexpected problems, not least of which has been the onset of the COVID pandemic in early 2020, which, as we all know, forced home working, campus and school closures, and really it severely hampered our ability to deliver one of our major pieces of fieldwork, which was the evaluation of our computer games in schools. Having said that, thankfully, this was able to go ahead in 2 of our 4 countries at least. Despite the obstacles in our path, though, we have achieved significant successes over the course of this project. And I'll highlight just a few of these just now. It'll be a whistle-stop tour, but you will get the opportunity to hear about them in more detail from project colleagues as we go through the sessions this week. We've conducted research with about 320 survivors and perpetrators of gender-based violence across 4 countries. So new knowledge and recommendations for tackling the issues emerging from that research have been found, and many publications are in the pipeline. You can read about each team's research into these areas on our website, where we've recently published the final versions of the qualitative research reports, which are huge pieces of work. We've also surveyed about 30,000 children, 30,000, aged 10 to 18, to understand their experiences of and attitudes towards violence. And reports on that work are also forthcoming via our website. In addition to Ni3's first computer game, Jessie, we've now also produced 4 more culturally appropriate educational video games. And that's thanks to our talented games team's collaboration with the country teams and engagement with the research itself, which informed the design of all of our games. We've also developed curricula materials to accompany the games based on our research and pedagogically informed. So between the games and these schemes of work, we now have a host of free resources based on our findings that we're ready to make freely available to teachers and to young people just as soon as the games have been evaluated. We've created an online policy hub for information about gender-based violence in each of our study countries and the recommendations emerging from our findings. Just to mention here also, many of you will be aware that unfortunately one of the side effects of lockdowns during the COVID pandemic was a spike in gender-based violence experienced by women across the globe, with some calling this the shadow pandemic. And we decided to make use of our policy hub and our accompanying social media presence, really to highlight policy action being taken to address this, and of course to signpost support that's available to victims. In terms of ongoing dissemination activity throughout the project, we've built the IDEA, which stands for Impact, Dissemination and Engagement Activities. And just to give an idea of the extent of the activity that's been going on, to date, colleagues from across the project have presented findings to at least 34 academic conferences, workshops and webinars, 13 public engagement events, including public lectures, network meetings, student events, policy forums, 14 Ni3 specific events. Findings have been published in 2 book chapters, 3 peer-reviewed articles, 1 conference proceedings, 5 University of Huddersfield published reports, as well as the executive summaries of the 4 qualitative reports featuring endorsement from the Commonwealth Secretariat, which were included on the Commonwealth Says No More campaign website, giving them global reach. And approximately at the time of speaking, 20 additional journal articles are in development for future publication. And in addition to those academic outputs, we have been busy behind the scenes with the incredible support of Ryan Green and Zanita Eady, our media consultants, and with our media gathering teams in each country. We've produced more than 130 short films based on Ni3's work, and those films to date have been viewed more than 120,000 times across the various platforms where we've shared them. In addition to that, we've continued to make weekly posts across our 8 social media profiles on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and more recently LinkedIn. And we have a following of more than 25,000 people across all of those platforms as well. So just a couple of screenshots here showing you just a very small snippet of the YouTube videos and the Instagram feed. But as you can see, we've been tirelessly pushing the kind of public engagement aspect to share the work that we've been doing. And of course, we've held centre events, both in person, such as the fantastic Mid-Project Summit in Mumbai back in 2019. And more recently, of course, we've gone virtual. So the young members of our global team pulled off an incredible online conference back in June called Play, Talk, Change, which offered insights into our innovative use of gaming to address social issues, and also brought together a large and really diverse group of like-minded people to share ideas on this. A few more achievements to highlight. So the Centre has secured close to £6 million in research grant funding over the past few years. That includes, of course, the 4.3 million GCRF grant. We've brought 4 great visiting professors to the University of Huddersfield and have benefited from their input. So huge thanks there to Matt DeLisi, Stephen Jacobson, Melanie Barwick, Mikhail Barford and Paul Miller. 3 PhD scholarships have been attached to Ni3. Not only this, but we've seen 3 centre colleagues complete their PhD studies whilst working with us. So congratulations go out to Esther Nanfuka, Carol Powell-Booth and John Pearson. We've even welcomed 4 new arrivals born to Ni3 colleagues or their partners during the project. Now, I'm not sure we can really take credit for that, but it's good to mark it in any case. So congratulations to Florence, Anna, Nick, Dom and Anna again. With another one on the way. And of course, we've celebrated a couple of weddings. So Vicky to Michael and Dom to Libby. So it really has felt like a family affair while we've been busy achieving all of these things. And just a brief hats off here and a mention for our international advisory group, a number of whom will be speaking at and supporting this week's conference. They have been and continue to be an invaluable sounding board for our strategic ideas, and being experts in their fields internationally, provide essential support for high-level stakeholder engagement and dissemination of our work. We've celebrated a range of awards and recognition for our work, including in no particular order and with a few visual highlights here. 7 of our short films have been shortlisted for American Public Health Film Awards. Ni3 was selected as one of 20 out of more than 500 projects to be featured as part of the London Design Fair's Design Research for Change showcase back in 2018. Our IAG member in Jamaica, Dr. Ellen Campbell Grizzle, was recognised as Researcher of the Year 2020 by the Caribbean Association of Pharmacy. Our UK team member and PhD researcher, Amrana Latif, won the British Society of Criminology's Global Injustice poster competition for her work on the project. Adele Jones was awarded not only a fellowship to the Academy of Social Sciences, but also the OBE in this year's New Year's Honours List. 9-3 Uganda's entry was in the top 3 winners from Uganda in the East Africa I Deserve short film competition. Another of our IAG members, Angela Nakafiro, was awarded an honorary doctorate by the University of Huddersfield just recently for her work to combat violence against women and children and to promote gender equality and women's empowerment in Uganda. Our game animator, Alexis, won Best Animation at the Believe Psychology Film Festival. 9-3's first game, Jessie, was endorsed by the Ministry of Education in St Lucia for use in all schools in the country. And of course, as you heard Professor Cryan saying earlier, 9-3 has been awarded the status of a formal research centre by the University of Huddersfield. So this list will go on as we continue to develop and disseminate our work, publish findings, and apply for future funding. So, I hope I've given you a flavour of what 9-3 is and what we've achieved to date. These, like I say, have just been a few of the highlights, and my colleagues from across our team will be delving into some of this in a little bit more detail as we go through the week. The past 4 years has been an incredible journey down unexpected and expected paths for all of us at 9-3, and we've achieved a huge amount in challenging and ever-changing circumstances. So I think we should all be incredibly proud